All right, welcome, everyone. Cesar Mascoro Jr. with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery, in with our 15 minutes to mastery, like we do each and every day, to get you some information, inspiration, and motivation to get your day started off on the right foot. And it is Wednesday, the 2nd of October, and I'm coming to you from the home office today. Home office. Let's get a little bit more light in here. How about that? There we go. Home office today as we're getting some work done here around the house. But listen, today we're talking on the leadership theme that we've been on this whole week. Last week we talked about time management, right? Because we want to help you get better. This week we're talking about leadership because we need you to get better. Everyone needs you to get better. And today we're talking about emotional intelligence, EQ. You've heard of IQ. This is EQ, emotional intelligence. And we're talking about that today. We've spoken about how you need to lead by example. We've talked about empathy yesterday, which you hear just talk about empathy all the time because everything that we talk about here at Manufactured Home Sales Mastery is about empathy, right? And today it's about emotional intelligence. Travis Bradberry writes, emotional intelligence is your ability to recognize and understand emotions in yourself and others, and your ability to use this awareness to manage your behavior and relationships. So it's not just about understanding, hey, I'm pissed off right now. Hey, I'm stressed out right now. Hey, I just don't feel right. Or, man, I can tell that so-and-so is not having a great day. It's not just about being aware of those things. It's also the ability to use that awareness to manage how we respond or how we help others, how we help them respond to these things, right? We talk about all the time how we need to make sure that we are helping people understand or help them understand that we know what they're going through, right? And so it's about being able to then control what we can control, our attitude and our actions. So we are aware, and now we're going to then use that to be able to respond correctly. Now, this brings me back to the when I was selling, and as a general manager, I would go in and meet with the majority, if not all of our customers, or when I had the ability to. I'd go in there, I'd sit and I'd get to talk to them a little bit, whether it was up front every time or at the end when these people maybe were deciding not to buy. I'd get in there and start talking to them. And as you start asking questions, you can see, you can feel, and think about this yourself when you're sitting in front of a client and maybe you're going through the interview process or you're talking, getting to know them a little bit, and they may say something that catches your attention. Literally, your ears perk up, little red flags, right? I talk to clients all the time about this as we're training, especially on the interview process. We start talking about, hey, when you hear these things, what are you doing, right? Well, here's the thing, okay? Too many of you out there will hear this. You will know that this is a point of contention. You will know that, man, there's something not right here. They've got something going on and it's affecting them, whatever it may be, right? And so you know these things, but then when you just choose to pass it over. You don't address it. You don't bring it up. You don't highlight that. You don't dig in deeper, and you miss out on opportunities to truly make a connection with your buyer when you do that. Okay. And so it's about being able to, with your clients, help them navigate their feelings. But then you as an individual, because you don't have to be a GM like I'm describing it that I was doing at that point. When you're as a housing consultant or community manager, you lead just as much as anyone else does. And you're leading these customers. And when you hear these things, you need to address those things. You need to help them handle that stress. And you need to address those conflicts that may be going on internally with them. Also in your office, right? When there's points of contention, when there's something going on, when there's a disagreement on certain ways of handling, whatever it may be, you've got to be able to pay attention to those things and then use that awareness to be able to help make the situation better, whether it's with the team or with clients, right? And so it goes beyond just understanding emotions. Emotional intelligence goes beyond just understanding that. It's also about managing them effectively. right? Adapting to the different emotional states at the time, whether it's yours or your clients or someone on the team, right? And then being able to use that to lead these people, clients, yourself, team with empathy and awareness, right? And so you leaders out there, and I'm talking to everybody in general. I'm not just talking to managers. When I say leaders here, I talk about everyone because I believe everyone in an office is a leader. So when you leaders out there can navigate these stressful situations without losing control, right? It helps motivate your teams, helps motivate your clients, and you're able to understand their emotional needs, right? And so here's the thing: high performers understand that. We can pick up on these things. We notice these things and we don't run from them, or we're not so busy trying to think of what we're going to say about everything else and focusing on the sale. At that point, it's about, hey, don't worry about this. Don't worry about the homes that you're going to show them. Don't worry about budgets and whatnot. When there's a topic that comes up, you need to dive into that and really, really make sure that that has been addressed, right? So because as a high performer in sales and leadership, you got to rely on this emotional intelligence so you can maintain that composure. Remember, we're in high pressure sales. In other words, we're in high pressure in the sense that every day you're back to zero. And every day it's about selling something. Every day is about helping a family, solving a problem so you can sell a home, right? And so you've got to understand the people you work with and the people that you're working for. All right. When I say with, I'm talking about your teammates, your colleagues, your management. For the people you work for are the clients that come in, right? So high performers, we're able to master reading not just body language, but it's the tone of voice. It's just other emotional cues. We're listening for those things. In other words, you're listening for what is not said. You're reading between the lines, so to speak, right? You can gauge your team, you can gauge your clients. And this allows high performers to respond appropriately, whether it means that you've got to offer support at some time, you got to resolve some conflicts that may be going on. You've got your clients may be disagreeing with their family members. They may have issues with the city or the municipality to get some permits, the contract, whatever it may be, right? And you've got to shift your approach at any point in time so that you can match the emotion that's going on at that time. All right. So in manufactured home sales, having a high EQ or emotional intelligence helps consultants and community managers and management and everyone read between those lines. Like I said, understand and listen for the things that are not being said. When your client hesitates or brings up an objection, right? Somebody with a high EQ, well, they're going to understand how to ask the deeper questions. They're going to understand how to peel back the layers and help that client, that buyer, feel comfortable about this concern or uncertainty or just question that they may have. Because you got to understand, I tell you guys all the time, your buyers are not going to come out and just ask you everything. They're not going to say everything that's on their mind. They're not going to let you know about all their insecurities because, man, remember, we're human and a lot of times they just don't want to feel dumb for asking questions that they think, man, are basic or something that they're just unsure about, and they don't want to make themselves look bad, especially if they're with their spouse or their significant other. They may avoid asking that thing. And so when you don't address these, when you notice that there's something up, but you don't bring it up and you let it just go, you kind of just sweep it under the rug because you think, well, it's not a big deal. He didn't say anything more about it, so we're going to move on. Or she didn't say anything about it, we're going to move on. Well, that doubt stays in their mind and they don't decide to make a decision. The only decision they're making is, I still have that question, so I'm not going to buy right now. Right? So whether it's the fear of making a final decision, whether it's the uncertainty of the process, the financing, the construction, whatever it may be, you've got to use your emotional EQ, your emotional intelligence, to be able to uncover these things and then help your buyers. Same thing when you've got issues going on in the office. Okay. You housing consultants, community managers, sales leasing agents, whatever your role may be, you have an opportunity to lead without being a manager by being able to understand, hey, this is going on with so-and-so. Hey, and then being able to dive in with that person and provide that person the support, the help that they may need, a word of encouragement, whatever it may be that's going on at that time. All right. I worked for a lot of great people. And I learned a lot of great things. I've learned so much in my life. It's incredible, but I have really learned so much in the last 5 to 10 years. It's been ridiculous. Like like finally my ears were open. My eyes were open. I was open to understanding that the more and more I learn, the more and more I get better, the more I am going to be able to get done. So that being said, all I'm telling you is at the same time, though, one of the things that I still had to learn, and I'm still, even to this day, I'm going to tell you right now, to this day, trying to adjust, is I'm a product of my environment, right? There's a video from Simon Sinek that I shared with a group not too long ago, where Simon talks about that you put a good person in a bad environment, and that person will turn bad at some point in time. You put a good person or a bad person in a good environment, and over time, that person will turn into a good person, right? And so I've worked in some places, unfortunately, where the emotional EQ, the emotional intelligence, or I should say the empathy, not even so much the EQ. The EQ has always been there because that's how we deal with our clients. And man, I can be sympathetic and truly just sincere and honest and feeling everything with the client. But then when it came to somebody on the team, it's like, hey man, what do you mean? Right? With my own family, hey, what do you mean? But you have to understand, people are people, humans are humans, and they all have emotions, and you can still get the point across without being that type of person. But that takes emotional intelligence, right? So that being said, what are the top 5 ways that you can lead with emotional intelligence, boost your EQ in manufactured home sales? Let's all get better at EQ. Here we go. Ready? All right. Check this out. First and foremost, you want to develop self-awareness. Man, I was talking to my 11-year-old about that this weekend. You need to take the time when you notice things within you, when you notice you're reacting a certain way, when you notice something has changed within you, you need to slow down and realize, what changed? How did it change? What was the result of that change? And if it was a good result, then okay, why was it good? You've got to start to figure yourself out so that you can understand how your mind works, so that you can understand how you respond to things, so you can understand how you can work within yourself to be even better, so that you don't respond and react under stress, right? You've got to understand how to be able to center yourself. But that starts with self-awareness. That starts understanding. And that's the foundation of emotional intelligence, because that's what helps you manage your emotions before trying to understand other people. So you've got to be self-aware. The next thing from there, folks, is you have to listen for those emotional cues. Listen for those emotional cues. That's where I still am trying to work at. Okay. I'm gonna be sincere and honest here with you. I do it 110,000% with buyers. Even to this day, I'll work with clients. I'll be in Tyler next week, right? And I get the opportunity to sit with customers, talk to customers, and I can hear things. I'm listening. But when it comes to whether it's people even on the team or within my family, at that point, it's like I check out when it comes to that stuff, right? So I got to make sure that I'm doing that. I've got to work on it myself. We're going to do this together, folks. We're learning together as we go along, right? But it's about paying attention to more than just the words from your clients or your team members or your family. You got to listen to the changes in tone. You got to observe body language. I can pick that up even with my family, believe me. Okay. But now it's about then continuing on with what's going to be the point number 4 after that, right? But those emotional cues, they give you insight into what's going on beneath the surface, right? We talk about surface level answers. Don't take those surface level surface level answers. You got to make sure you're moving on, growing, and being straightforward, right? Because that will help you then manage stress effectively. We know sales is stressful. Every day you're back to zero, like I mentioned, right? Starting a business, every day we're back at zero. So it's easy to let your emotions get the best of you, especially in those high pressure situations. So you got to develop those strategies to manage your own stress. I don't know if it's the way you're going to go about breathing. You're going to take a moment to just, like I said, center yourself, reset, changing your mindset, whatever it takes. But you've got to stay calm. You got to stay composed in those high pressure situations, because if not, that's when you're going to freak out. If I'm as a business owner, oh my God, this deal didn't go through, and oh, what are we going to do? Believe me, 7 months of no money coming in, the first 7 months of no business at Manufactured Home Sales Mastery, I was internally inside freaking the heck out, man. But I had to keep myself composed. I had to keep moving forward. I had to keep consistent with everything, because I knew that by doing that, it was going to get us to the result that we were after. But I couldn't let it be, I couldn't let it show, because the people around me, my family and others, would freak out if I was freaking out. So you've got to be able to learn to manage your stress, because if not, that's when you just quit. Oh no, I gotta go do this. And then you just give up on your dreams. You live a life of regret. Okay. And the next thing from there is practice empathy in your conversations. I mentioned that in point 2, right? By listening for emotional cues. And when you pick up those emotional cues, now it's about using that empathy when speaking to your clients, to your team, to your family, right? And seeing things from their perspective. It's tough. I know. For me, myself, it's tough as well. But you got to ask yourself, what emotions could be causing this in this person? What could be driving that, right? And because when you can do that and then you speak with emotion or empathy, you're building that trust. People are they're more likely to respond positively, and because they feel understood. My wife tells me that all the time. You just, I just wish you understood. And sometimes I'm like, I don't. But it's because I'm not completely listening to those emotional cues. So, like I said, I got work I got to get done on this. We're going to do this together. And lastly, adapt to those emotional changes. You've got to be able to adapt to emotional changes. Okay. That means that you're flexible. You notice that tone and the conversation shifting, and you're preparing to change your approach. You're able to shift from, hey, we're talking about business, to, oh, okay, let's talk about the situation with the kids that you got going on, or let's talk about that deal going on with the landlord, whatever it may be, right? Even though you were focused on a house, you were focused on construction, they brought something up and it was a trigger for them, and now you got to go that route. So you got to adapt. And as a high performer, you've got to be able to pivot, man, from that hard sell to the soft sell. You got to pivot from being firm to offering a little bit of emotional support based on the situations. You've got to be able to do that. But that, by doing this, my friends, you're going to raise your emotional EQ, your EQ, your emotional intelligence, 1,000%, and you're going to make even more connection, and it's going to help you out in life as well. Because emotional intelligence, it's such a powerful tool if you have to, or I should say, to have as an individual and as a leader, especially in manufactured home sales. Okay. So remember, it's not just about understanding those emotions, but being able to read and respond to the emotions of those people around you, right? And as a high performer, you got to understand that connecting with the client on that emotional level is going to help them close or decide to close on their home, to buy their home faster and effective. That's what we're after, right? We're after trying to get them to make a decision on day one. And the only way you're going to do that is by helping them, by eliminating the doubts, insecurities, and giving them the answers to the questions that they may have, even though they may not ask you the questions. So it's on you to peel back those layers, right? So as that high performer, understand that emotional intelligence, all it's going to do, it's going to foster that better teamwork amongst your team, but it's also going to improve your relationships with your clients. Oh, hey, by the way, it's also going to improve your relationships with your family. So look, get out there, start to use this, and really, really grow as an individual, grow as a leader, And if you do this, even now, as a housing consultant, as a community manager, as a sales leasing agent, whatever role you have, and you start applying this and you start using this, you make an impact with not just your clients, but also your team and your family, your life will change. Will change for the better. You'll start to level up. You'll see great things start to happen for you. And that is what it's all about. Because as you know, here at Manufactured Home Sales Mastery, we're here to take your life, your business, and your career to a whole new level. But it starts first with your life. We want to make sure that you are operating at the highest level possible as an individual, because that will only help you be able to apply it in your professional life. I hope you guys have a great Wednesday. Go out there, man. Kill it today. Kill it today. Make it the best day yet. Help as many families as possible. Solve problems, and you'll get the sale. And if there's a way that we can help you out here at Manufactured Home Sales Mastery, please do not hesitate to reach out, because we are here to help you in any way possible. And also, don't forget, we're launching this page either today or tomorrow, but our 2025 Path to Mastery. This is an online business planning goal setting event specifically for the manufactured home industry. This is just for you. We're going to do it November 18th and 19th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's going to be online. We're going to have guest speakers. I've already confirmed several of them. Great information coming to you. We're going to talk time management. We're going to talk leadership. We're going to talk professional development. We're going to talk setting goals for yourself for 2025 to hit the income that you're after, and an accountability program that's going to come with it. And on top of that, we're going to help you just bridge the gap between where you're at and where you want to be. Because like I told you before, we want to help you. We want to help you get to that next level. We are here to pour into you, and that is there for you. The first 100 people are going to get into this thing for only $49. Okay. Regular price can be $225 per person. We're limited on space, obviously, because it's Zoom. So the first 100 people are going to get this for $49. You got questions, you want to get signed up before we launch the page later today or tomorrow, reach out to me, comment below so you can get the link, you can get signed up. $49 gets you in, and you're going to walk away with tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of value from Manufactured Home Sales Mastery and our guest speakers. We got people that are Manufactured Home Association, State Association leaders. We got people from factories that are going to be speaking. We got marketing people speaking. We got people that are former and current people within the industry that are going to come in. They're going to pour into you. People that have that have done great things with the industry. That's what we're bringing to you, because we are truly wanting to be that source of empowerment, that source of enlightenment, that source of growth for you within the manufactured home industry, because we're out to revolutionize the industry and the sales culture. And this has never been done within this industry in this manner. And we are bringing it to you. We're proud. We're honored. I am so grateful for each and every one of you and everyone who is partnering up with us, whether it be for this 2025 Path to Mastery or anything we've done in the past, anything we're going to do in the future. And we got great things coming in 2025. Man, I am so excited, and you should be too. You guys have a great day, man. We'll be talking soon. And as always, until then, I can't wait to meet you.